And we're back. Your favorite Heroes After Dark. So if you saw the previous video, we went from 101 to 128, and now we're going to talk about our favorite anti-hero, the one people love to hate this guy, and that is Frank Castle, United States Marine Corps Vietnam vet, the man who never needs an introduction because he's always killing everyone. One of my favorite street level assassins, the Punisher.
I think it's funny as we're talking about this beforehand. I think that the problem with the Punisher is they let him kill off all of his nemesis.
Yeah.
So you don't have like a huge rogues gallery because they're all dead.
I think that's what people love about it.
There's a few, but it's few and far between. No. So to get like legit characters that follow along the storylines, it's only the other superheroes.
It has to be. But every intersection with a superhero, he does what? He tries to kill him
at first.
So it's a good time. I mean, some of the best Second Amendment covers right here.
He's like that friend that you have to fight with before they become your friend.
Yeah.
I've owned a lot of these over the years. I've used it as trade fodder a lot of times. Now I'm holding on to the books and I think it's a great time to buy them. I guess we're going in reverse order on this one. So
yes, we're starting with an 8.5, which is very, very acceptable.
That's trash, I know.
It's not a trash book. If you're an investor, we've talked about this book many times. 7.0 is really right at where you should be. That's your floor. 7.0 and up for investors.
Interesting. Yeah, I do find that you find a lot of 5s to 6.5s. They're plentiful.
Yeah. Most common grade was a 6.5 if I remember correctly. So 7.0 and up. Although you get a lot of volatility, but once you hit that 8.5, it kind of mellows out. He's a kinder, gentler Punisher.
And these books are definitely down there because I know I definitely overpaid on one of these. So this I probably got a long time ago as an 8.5. So
an 8.5.
But this would have been when an 8.5 was not that bad. 8.5 could have been $300, $400. It wouldn't have been it would have been a very modest investment.
So this is a modest investment, a 9.2.
So now we get to the 9.2. Oh, I'm missing the 9.0. Oh shoot, I'm just kidding.
So modest.
And I would say this book presses very well. You've got that you've got that wrap with the white, kind of the white line on it. You may not have the white line on it. So there's definitely some friendlier books out there because they're going to have, you're going to miss all the ticks because of the white. So that can help it. But I think this book actually was intended with the black line to be right there on the edge. I don't know how this, I don't know what this one looks like. Yeah, see, it's got that white border slightly off keyed a little bit. But interestingly,
it's a bumpski.
This was a bump.
Bump.
So this would have been so I would have bought this raw, got it graded, and then bumped it later on.
So how long ago was that?
It couldn't have been terribly long ago because I got it's that label, but yeah. So
it went from an 8.0 to a 9.2.
Yep,
that's a significant jump.
You know what else is interesting is that the page quality, which should not change, went from off-white to an off-white.
Now this is just light. Now this is just light work for you at this point.
So I know that I paid $1,000 for the 9.4, 985 or something like that. on eBay. There's another one of those ones. My budget, I was always trying to get books just when they went under 1,000, and so this is one that it was like always like 1,100, 1,050, and then finally it dipped,
and you snagged it.
And I snagged it.
So now talk to me about this one, because this...
Oh boy, this is a COVID buy.
A COVID buy.
This is a COVID buy. So I paid just under 10 grand for it.
Oof.
Yep.
10,000. Yeah!
Just under.
That's level...
9999.
That's level 88. Yeah.
Now, I will say this. I did trade 5,000 of it.
So you spent half.
So I paid cash. Right. So 5K was what I spent. 5K was trade. That doesn't soften the blow.
So now 6,300 is what you can get it at. But a white pager. So there's
a white page. So I mean 6,500.
So you get
white page.
You might get 66.
So obviously I will wait. This book will go up. This is to Spider-Man what Hulk 181 is to Hulk, right? This great anti-hero introduced in somebody else's book. Iconic cover.
Mm-hmm.
There's no controversy here. I mean, there's no other first appearance.
No.
And this book will never, if you were to look long term, right, it will always eventually go up.
Some variants. Obviously, we have the Mark Jewelers, we have the newsstands. What is this?
So UK made UK versions, and then UK stopped with issue 120. And so anything 120 and beyond, they became these extended Marvel superhero. So there is no UK version of 129. That's the UK version. There is probably a slight delay in the month of when this came out, but it would have been in 74.
74.
I don't know if there's I can see if there's a date on it. Nope, I lied, 76. So there's a 2-year delay on this, whereas the UK versions was not a delay.
So you're picking this up. You're picking the 129. Would you pick up the Marvel Tales?
Yes. So there are 2 Marvel Tales. There's the red one.
Yep, the ketchup cover to go with the mustard.
And then help me remember. There's another reprint of it.
Yeah, there's
later
on.
It's got kind of a weirder cover.
The barbed wire.
Yeah, it's not as good of a cover.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man in Guantanamo Bay. I think that's something like it's some crazy.
I mean, those are hard to find to get a 9.8 in those.
Yeah,
I think those are good. I think the red one's very hard to get 9.8, and then the other one's probably a little easier because it's a little more modern.
Yeah,
and it was that one. I remember buying that one, the second Marvel Tales, off the shelf as a kid.
Okay.
So I as a kid though was a huge Punisher fan. So I went, and so ironically eBay came out, and I was introduced to eBay maybe a year after it came out.
So this is
2000. The first thing that I bought on eBay was the Punisher limited series for $5.
Slab?
No, raw.
Oh,
and I got it because as a kid I could never afford a number 1. And I go, I wonder what that costs nowadays on eBay. And then I saw the whole series for $5. I was like, holy cow. And I bought it and I got to read it. And it got me back into comics after about a 10-year hiatus. And this is one of my favorite artists.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I think his art is amazing. I think his sense of composition is amazing. And then there is a newsstand of it. But I absolutely love. So, and he has so many iconic covers. This is my exact set, but he's got so many iconic covers. And he did a couple. There's Punisher Big Nothing, which is one of my favorite covers, and it's nothing. It's just him holding a smoking gun. It's just such a good cover. And then so this actually was mine as a kid. This was the one I bought as a kid. It came back in 9.4. So
was impressed back then.
No, I mean, I probably had it pressed. And that's why I got the 9.4. But that was actually the copy I had as a kid.
That's incredible.
And then, so this is the only one I need to upgrade still. I've gotten the others in a 9.8. This is the only one that's still hovering in the 9.6. These are hard to find, actually, to get the full run.
You can't see, you don't see too often that they're slab.
And this one probably would upgrade, I mean, if you look at it. And these are just, I mean, it's a full story. Covers are amazing. And then, of course, everybody, loves the fact that it's a limited series, and it says number 3 of a 4-issue limited series. We've got number 4 of the limited series, and then, of course, we've got number 5 of the 4-issue limited series.
Because they figured out what they were trying to do.
And it's funny because you still see 4 and 5, I think, in bins pretty commonly. I think the 1 and the 2 seem to make it on people's walls now. I started to invest in this book. I think it's an amazing looking cover. But, the way that there's we'll say,
is it for the twin handles?
Female, male switcheroo.
Yeah.
That I thought that maybe they would use Lynn Michaels as a Punisher. And she has a sort of a convoluted first appearance because she actually shows up like a couple times before. This is the first time she's actually the Punisher, but she shows up as the police officer in an issue. And then, there's a whole storyline. And then she eventually becomes the Punisher. I picked up a 9.6 first, and finally was able to find a 9.8. So, and some of these Punisher books and high numbers have such beautiful covers.
Gotta talk about PWJ.
Yeah, it's funny because Punisher at the time was so popular, and this was like one of those issues that you could actually go just to the store and find. It's like what, $1.25. And I remember as a kid like going, "Oh, this is gonna be worth so much money." I got a Punisher #1, and it was like $5, $10.
Yeah, $10. Yeah, 15 if you in a high grade.
But at 90, it's $100, not, give or take.
Yeah, it's affordable.
Well drawn, kind of. There's some good Wolverine stories in there, but I think the only key is really that Lynn Michaels.
Yeah.
And #1.
Yeah, I mean, iconic covers. Even in that Wolverine intersection.
That's what I'm saying. There are some good covers in there, some cool stories, but other than the Wolverine books, the Lynn Michaels stuff and that last issue, that's it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. You had to you want to read if you were buying that one.
This is a great cover.
And then and again, cheap, right? I don't know what are these now? $150, $200 maybe.
Mm-hmm. But just the fact that he's holding a bazooka
with the one hand
on a fire escape. Who does that? And the guy with the jerry curl, he's got the 45 or 50 caliber, and
these stories were venture a little bit into the suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, because there's no handle on the fire escape. He's hanging from a rope with a bazooka.
So I'm going to drop a little knowledge on this. So there is a Punisher issue in these first 5 or 6 where it shows him holding a machine gun in like this toxic dump with this green cloud around him. They homaged that cover for Cobra Commander that just came out, and nobody knew it. And I'm literally holding them side to side, and it's literally an homage with no credit given.
No, Punisher, before and then after.
No, to the Punisher issue that they clearly took for the Cobra Commander issue. So if anyone does that and wants to do a little looking, or maybe we'll add it in the thumbnails and show that they homaged that book, which was this iconic cover at the time because it was used in all these ads for Punisher. Mm-hmm. It's him in a gas mask in this toxic field with this green cloud around him, and they used that on every ad to buy East Coast Comics and whatever the ads are on the back of the books. And somebody must have remembered that and then drew this Cobra Commander one and homaged it. And intentionally or not, I don't know, but it's clearly there.
But we see what happens where artists swipe things and
there's I think it rhymes with patina.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that. Another 9.4 of that.
And then I think this was my attempt to grade the one that I actually owned when I was younger. Yeah. And then so the main title, there's a few in there that have a limited collectability, but everybody just loves this cover. It crosses over with Daredevil, and has a good Daredevil cover as well, which probably is worth more than the Punisher one. But
and the Moon Knight one, isn't there a Moon Knight? No, that's Moon Knight and Daredevil.
Yeah,
it's similar to this, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, so not a ton. So Punisher again, the last issue. The last I would say 10 issues are pretty hard to get, and they got some cool things in them. That Bullseye cover is amazing. If anyone ever knows what we're talking about, there's some cool art covers. The storylines just go so sideways after about issue 30. I mean, so sideways, and then it just keeps going.
Now there was some spec on this during COVID, where everybody thought for sure. Punisher War Machine.
It could still happen. It could still happen. Scrolls, baby.
Frank Castle in the.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Throw him in some armored stuff and let him kill even more people.
Who is he gonna kill? Who does he fight?
He can kill everybody.
That's the problem. He
could kill the Marvel Universe.
Him and Deadpool.
Just saying. Oh, they both could kill it.
Yeah.
You know who killed it first? The Punisher.
That's true. The Watcher didn't intervene, though. So there you have it. 129 plus some various key Punisher issues. Punisher art, Mike Zeck, and then the female Punisher. I mean, for the MCU, for those that have a taste for that. If there's an appetite for that, let us know in the comments if you have a 129. And if you do, what's the grade on that?